Guys, welcome back to another video. We are going to continue to work on page 2 here. Now, because I am in the process of processing / editing another video, I can't pull up the reference that I have for panel 1. So what we're going to do is most likely go ahead and start on panel 2, since I pretty much got the gist of this laid out. So yeah, there's probably not going to be much of me talking. I think what I might start doing with these videos is speeding up the videos for YouTube, and then I will have the longer format videos on YouTube as well, but I might have those, like this video of me talking. I'll have these linked on my blog for like behind the scenes videos. I think that will be I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I'm going to try to remember to do that, but there's no guarantee. I want to try to have the longer videos like this for people to, if they're working on other projects or kind of need something in the background to kind of focus, that this can kind of be those videos, as well as going over like my process on how I do everything, what I'm thinking about when I'm doing everything, and really kind of just seeing the time it takes for me to create these pieces or these pages. But I'm not quite sure if I want to do something where I have the long form content and then I have a secondary video that is for the general public that's sped up and maybe has a voiceover. As much as I have no problem investing hours upon hours in creating this type of work, when it comes to editing, I'm pretty sure you guys have seen, oops, sorry guys, let me commercial. I'm sure you guys have can probably tell that, or if you don't know, now you do. When it comes to editing, I'm lazy. I don't. It's I know it might be beneficial for me to do that, but I honestly don't really care about that. I enjoy long form content. I know there are other people that do as well. Because like I said, it gives people something to kind of have like a draw buddy or a study buddy when you're working on something. So I know there's videos of people studying for long periods of time, for like an hour or so like that, and it kind of feels like helps with like distraction and stuff like that. So I know everyone's a little bit different, but yeah, so my video is actually finished processing, so that's awesome. 147, where's that video at? So we're going to, I don't know if I think I've taken this video and made it into clips. One thing I did do is also to help create more content on my other social media, as I'm taking these videos and kind of breaking them down into shorter clips. So that way I have that for content. I don't think that I have broken this down all the way, so I might have to do like maybe another video. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and get started. It's been 5 minutes of me talking and rambling. So let's go ahead and start working on this stuff. I'm gonna pull up my reference program that I use. And we're gonna go ahead and let me see something here. I'm trying to take the screens off. I don't want to see the screens. Where's the screens at? How do I turn the screens off? I want that. Bruh, how do I turn this off? Oh, here we go. Boom, there we go. All right, so got this going on, and we are at sketching out this guy up here. So I'm gonna go like this so you guys can actually see. And actually, let me do this. Hopefully this will help. Or not. What the hell? Isn't that plugged in? It's plugged in. Hold on guys, let me see if I can get my lamp to work here. Did my light go out? I think so. I don't think this light is working anymore. Well, that sucks, because I didn't use it for long. Let me try another, power thing. Let's see if this works. There we go. So hopefully that's a lot better for you guys. And let's go ahead and get started.
Oof. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Oy, oy, oy. Uh, Hold on for one sec, guys. All right, getting back into it. Sorry, guys, I had to take a break. So I was generally just freaking exhausted. I mean, I didn't go to sleep or anything. I just literally took a mental break. Now I'm coming back. Let's work on this. All right. So I know one of my areas that I struggle with is the shoulder. So I'm probably gonna have to do some studies or figure out a shorthand of the shoulder, especially when it's at a covered up by the chest slightly. So pretty much the 3/4 view. And when it's raised, because that affects the shape slightly and how this the arm connects to it. So I'm gonna need to look into that at some point. This means I'm gonna have to erase him and move him closer. That sucks, because I feel like this was actually decent. But this is gotta go. That sucks. But you can't be afraid to erase something, and just because you put something down. Sometimes it'd be like that. I'm exhausted. I got off work early last night. And I came home. I got the needed sleep. I went to sleep. I just kind of roughed this sentence lately. I know the ear is gonna rest on the horizontal line, the horizon line, not horizontal line, horizon line. But yeah, I got sleep, got up. My body naturally woke me up. I didn't set like an alarm. And then as soon as I got up, got ready, and then I went to the gym to work out. What I'm gonna do is actually do this rib cage like that. I know this will stick out. This is just too like this isn't right. But got ready, then went to the gym, did my workout, I did what did I do today? I did not chest. I did legs and back. Normally I do legs and abs, but I decided to mix it up today. I'm gonna start mixing it up. So instead of doing I don't even think you can see the legs. So I'm gonna have to probably bring this down. This is just what's this called? Just a rough, Jesus, can't think, but but yeah, I went to the gym, worked out, did legs and back. Tomorrow will be most likely chest and abs. No, I didn't do shrugs when I did my back. That's fine. Might probably need to start writing down my workouts beforehand. So but it's all just rough. But yeah, I did chest and back, or oh my gosh, legs and back. Came home, ate, got my protein in. I ate some type of protein, some type of carb, and then some type of fruit when I do my workouts. Like, I'm not trying to bulk, I'm not trying to cut or anything like that. Just working out, trying to be more healthy. I feel like this head is too small. Actually, might not be small because this goes here, and then this is here, and then this is about the same size as this guy. But ate, cleaned the kitchen, took a shower. There we go. Worked on a painting, and then sat down at my desk. So I'm not sure if it's the workout that's why I'm exhausted, or likely maybe I didn't get enough sleep, but I feel like I got enough sleep. I don't know. I've been having some weird dreams lately, so that's probably also messing with me too. Not feeling like I'm getting enough rest mentally, but so we got the characters roughed in slightly, so now let's go ahead and rough in the background. Remember, this is going to be the door. We're going to expand this out here like this. Yeah, because it's kind of like centered. And then he's got a knife in his hand. So I'm just going to go like this, something like that. We're an hour and we're still working on the first panel. So kind of giving you guys an idea of what to expect when it comes to actually working on an actual page for a comic. Like, it's not this done in 2 hours type artwork. Like, this is stuff that takes time. You know, I don't want to make sure that I'm not having the tangent of the head in the bookshelf, like the corner of the bookshelf touching his head, like here, and then something like this. I'm putting this down and something like that. Something like that. I'll leave that roughed in. And then we'll also do stuff over here. Like we'll just rough this in. I'll fix it later. So maybe here. Let me do where this part 1 might be. Just so that way I don't make sure I don't have a tangent. And then this part I'll do like this so you won't see that. And then maybe against the back there might be, of course it might get cut off, but maybe this is the ceiling. It's the ceiling of the room, right? And then maybe this is like a bookshelf against the door. And there's maybe another bookshelf here, like that, something like that. I'll leave that for right now. So now let's go ahead and actually, oh my gosh, my eyeball. I'm gonna go ahead and take my kneaded eraser. We'll see how this works. Where is my kneaded eraser? Found it. Not a situation of last time where I was like literally like losing my mind trying to find it. I'm kneading my eraser real quick. Forget how hard it is to knead the whole thing. So I put the 2 pieces together, so I just got the big one, just one large one. I forget how hard it is to knead this thing. That's like that. I think I broke it up originally into 2 pieces because it was just easier to knead. And I just ended up keeping it that way. But now that I've kneaded it together as one piece, I've gone ahead and broken it into 2 again, so that way they're smaller. So just slightly roll it so that way I'm not leaving too much residue on my paper, hopefully. All right. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna zoom in here. Well, not zoom in, but I'm gonna push you guys in here so you guys can see everything that's going on here. So what we're gonna do
is here. We're gonna take our time. So this is probably gonna be what I'm gonna do is this guy's gonna have some definition in his cheekbone slightly. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lay in the chin, and that will help me determine where the lips are gonna go. So I'm trying to be mindful that I don't have to have these superhero proportions of the face. I will say this again, I think I've said in another video, if you really want to like get some diversity in your characters, especially characters who like background characters, even if it's main characters, without like, you know, trying to think. Where's my eraser at? There we go. But you want to add some diversity to your characters without having to worry about like trying to pull a reference on the internet. Like I know there's some certain websites where you can go where they have more normal pictures of normal people. Like everyone's not this model looking type person, so it really helps with adding diversity to your characters because the different features and stuff and how they're placed on the face. But if you want, I feel like if you want to add some characters, some diversity to your characters without having to search really hard online, I would recommend going out and about and just looking at people, and then maybe take a notebook with you and make notes on maybe some distinct features that you see in someone, like, you know, maybe a longer than normal neck, or a woman who has a more pronounced brow than the standard beauty, right? Or paying attention to the shape. So if you have a sketchbook, I mean, you can even sketch it down real quick as well to help you with that. Let me erase this. It's not right. Because where I work currently, I have I won't say interactions, but I see so many people every day, and seeing how everyone's different and how oopsies, how everyone's so different, and how the same features that most of us have are placed differently on each person, and how that impacts how that person looks. Can really help add diversity to your characters. And if you want, I mean, you can even look at movies, like pick up or go like watch an independent film. And I know sometimes, a lot of those people will be subjectively attractive, but you might be able to see like once again how the same features that most people have are different, how they're placed together to create a whole different different person. I have to offset these ears and the features because the head is tilted. And then it's tilted to the side and it's tilted down. So I have to accommodate for that. I'm going to slightly, well, not slightly, but I'm going to erase this. And then we're going to work on the neck area. I still have to draw his head and everything. I'm not sure what type of hairline I'm going to give him. I still need to fix his nose too. What I can do is I want him to have more. Let me do this. I'm going to fix his nose. Well, not fix it, but I'm going to make his nose. There we go. Have him more of like a broader nose. Another thing you can do is study different ethnicity groups to kind of understand the features of that group. This nose is not right because it should be here. I'm at the zoom in just a little bit so I can see, so you guys might see my head in this for a little bit. But study different ethnicities to his lips are off, that's what it is. And make notes to yourself. You don't necessarily have to, but make notes to yourself about what features stand out about that ethnicity to you. So I know for me, like African Americans or black people in America, the nose seems to be broader in most. I don't want to say even most, but in a lot of us, that seems to be like a feature that is common for us. That's what it is. This is throwing me off right here. I know it's turning, so it's just an awkward pose that you don't, or head turn that you really don't see too often, and I don't draw too often, so it's kind of throwing me off. But like some features that I might associate with black people in America would be like the broader nostrils on the face. Sometimes the nose might be shorter. Another thing that I've noticed is more almond-shaped eyes. Eyes may be a little bit bigger, not always for everyone, of course. The lips. Some of us have fuller lips. And I know it's not for every Black American, Black person in America, but like the fuller lips. Hair texture, if it's not like a perm, or if I want to say if they're not mixed, like I know, I'm doing generalization here because I know that not all of this is going to apply for every Black person out there. So this hairline needs to come down because his head is tilting down. So it's not going to be at the typical hairline. So I'm generalizing everything. Like I know for, I'll say, Caucasian, for Caucasian people, I might be looking at for the men anyway, like a more pronounced brow. Nose might be a little bit thinner. Trying to think what else. Eyes might seem a little bit more narrow, I guess is the word. Like they're not as wide as maybe someone who's Black. So if this is tilted, this would be the actual. So like the neck isn't, when I did this, the neck I might have made the neck too long, but I feel like that's gonna be fine. I feel like so we're gonna say like the Adam's apple. Adam's apple would be like here. And then something like this. And I'm drawing the muscles in just to kind of help myself here. Like that. I feel like this is off. So I'm marking off where the traps, yeah, where the traps are going to come to an actual end. Whoopsies. Because the traps would be here and then go up this way. And this is to help to make sure I don't draw the traps too big either and unproportioned to the body. Let me see, where's my TV remote? I left it, of course, over there. I'm playing SpongeBob. I don't want you guys to be able to hear it because I don't want any issues. All right. So with working on this panel, we're almost an hour and 30 minutes in, and this is all we've got. So this kind of gives you an idea of what you can expect. Possibly, if you move quicker, if you have a different art style, you might be able to move faster, but you guys have seen what the first page looks like, so you guys can see the type of detail that I'm going for when it comes to this this comic. And what I'm gonna do is what I'm gonna do, because I know this is gonna be roughly around where the chest muscle ends visually. So I'm just gonna wrap it around here, from here to here. Now technically the chest muscle would actually connect. It's like, I'm not gonna draw it on here, but these fibers would actually connect to the arm muscle. I mean, not to the arm muscle, but to the arm, actually. And so these fibers would actually connect up here. So, actually, let me see if I can find a picture for you guys, so that way you guys know what I'm talking about, because I don't want you guys to I can show you guys what I mean. Where is the chest muscles? Chest muscles, chest muscles. I don't want to rotate. I want to find the torso. Come on, man. Here we go. I'm gonna have to cover this page so that way you don't see the boobs, but the muscle for the chest, they connect to the arm under the deltoid, muscle. So I'm trying to see, let me see if I can find a better, I might have to pull up actually let me do this. Where is my, there we go, Figure Drawing Design and Invention by Michael Hampton. Pull up the chest area so you guys can see as well. All right, so let me do this. So I'm gonna do this because YouTube. So you can see here that these chest muscles, these fibers, they go up and then they connect somewhere under the deltoid, and then the deltoid goes over it. But that's how these arm muscles connect, because when you lift your arm up, this goes up as well and does that. So I wanted to be able to show you guys, but because I'm shorthanding this, I'm just pretty much wrapping this around here. So that what I'm pretty much cutting out is this connector part. I don't need that. I just need to have this part. Because the deltoid I can go ahead and adjust to. I can go ahead and adjust everything after that. I don't need to draw like the connection and everything like that. That makes sense. Here's another example. Michael Hampton. See, it connects here about 1/3. The one, like if you break this into thirds, this connects in the top third area of the arm, and you can see like these muscles here, they twist or overlap each other to create that. Here's another example here. So from the side you can definitely see how this comes out here, and then also here you can see how this comes down here, right? And then this is what it looks like when it's stretched. So Michael Hampton's book, Figure Drawing Design and Invention, is very much so worth the price, and I would definitely recommend it as one of the anatomy books of many that I would get. So, all right, so let's go ahead and work on the part here, this arm. So this is the traps, and then we're gonna go here, and then this goes here. I'm gonna bring it down. And then what we're going to do is I'm just going to pretty much go like this. If I wanted to, I could make this like if it was in the socket, but this is fine here. And then I know that this is the tricep area. Now, here's where it's going to be interesting because we've got the back muscles and stuff. So what I'm going to do is where this is, I'm just going to expand that out here to kind of give that some mass. Because you have the lats, which are on the back muscle, and you have the serratus muscles that go here. So they're connecting here. So depending on the form, I think the arms are going to be in front. So what's going to end up happening is, or they might be in the back. Or how am I going to do this? I don't know. Let's go to this here. This might actually be, I was going to do this because I'm probably going to have to pull up reference on how this pose would look. Probably actually the arm is going to come in front. Or you would have a crease here of the chest area and the deltoid area. And then the arm here. Let me see. Alright. Sorry guys, give me a sec here. Alright, let me see. Going to the second one here, second arm. So so this is why I go back, because I can clearly see that in this particular example, when I originally sketched this out, the deltoid was way too big, stuck out way too far for this particular pose. But I also think that also had made the chest wider. $12 a month, god dog. So here, and like I know this is gonna be this is not gonna be visible once I can't think. Once I put the scroll in that he's gonna be holding. But I want to draw through, so that way I know what I'm looking at. Still need to fix the chest area. And then, like, it's funny because I didn't fix this at all. Like that should be like this. There we go. I don't know, this is going to be covered up by clothes and stuff like that, but I wanted to get this in there. All right, so that guy's done. Well, he's not done, but he's laid in. So now we've got, I'm going to do this guy because drawing this guy and having this guy done is going to help me determine this guy, I think. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll work on this guy, and then I'm gonna take like a 15, and then we'll come back and work on the other video. Or another video will work on the other guy. I'm not sure if the 15-minute break is going to, if once I take the 15-minute break, I'm gonna come back to the same video, or I'm gonna break it up into 2 videos. I don't know. I don't know. So let's go ahead and work on this guy. Where's my needed eraser? We're gonna go ahead and do, just kind of get some of this off here. I don't need to erase everything. I don't need to erase everything. Oh shit. Oh, I almost dropped it on the floor. I'd have been pissed. The one thing about kneaded erasers is you have to be careful that these don't hit the floor and stuff, because then you have to deal with possibly picking up lint and dust and dirt and whatever else might be on your floor. Especially if you got carpet and pets, because then you have to worry about animal hair. And that's for me vacuuming my floor like every other day. So and then what I think I'm gonna do today also is work on some illustration work. One of the things that I've been working on is, I'll show you guys actually. So it was on Gumroad. I think it was for free. Yeah, I think I was able to get it for free. I think it was free or really cheap. Let me pull up my Gumroad real quick and find out, because I think it was free. Let me see, what's it called? Form lighting. Let's go to Gumroad if I can find it. Where's Gumroad at? Jesus, I hate that you can't organize your own menus on the Apple products. Like that I can put like, hey, I can put this here, I can put this there. It's frustrating because if I want to look for something, I have to play the guessing game on where it is. Did I delete Gumroad over here? I guess so. Let me go ahead and go to form lighting. I'm not logged in, but I can at least show you guys what it is if I can find it. Load more. I'm trying to find it. Hold on, let me put this on pause. Okay, I found it. So this is what it's called. It is called Form Lighting. It's by Mari Lanshire. I don't know how you pronounce the name, but that's the name. It is free on Gumroad. But it's a 24-page guide covering the basics and advanced concepts of, and it literally right here, it's talking about it. Sorry, so you guys can actually see. Let me do this. There we go. It's covering the anatomy of light, so pretty much explaining light, carving form with value, form rules, simplified lighting, logic 1, 2, and 3 axis lighting, point lights and inverse square law, qualities of light, painting form textures, ambient occlusion, light bounce, value compression, soft and hard brushes. That's doing more digital. And then it's talking about, this is exercises. So it gives you exercises and studies that you can take this information that you're learning and do studies trying to understand it more with things that you find either within life, or you can take still life photos, make it grayscale, or find photos online, turn them to grayscale and study that. But carving form and texture, and I think texture is a huge thing for artists. I think, well, for me anyway, I struggle with textures, so that's like a huge thing. Subdividing forms, wireframe coloring, wireframe tracing. So for me, I'm actually taking these videos, or not these videos, but these lessons, and I'm applying it to traditional media. So I'm doing everything with pencil. And so, like understanding the texture and where you're going to see the most texture. This exercise of doing lighting, I did this in pencil. Trying to go through here, but I did this. It's a painting demo if you're doing it digitally, but I did this traditionally, and I'll actually show you guys that real quick in my sketchbook. But like these are my notes from the PDF. So this is also from like a video that I did that I watched on shading with the pencil. But like this stuff here, this was like examples of trying to understand certain things, understanding form, dealing with 3 tones, working on shading with the pencil. This is trying to get texture. Once again, practice, because those both look like garbage. But make notes on the Terminator, half light, because I was like, I don't really know never really used the term half light. But like the 3-point axes, how that would look. Here's the example, the one example, more notes here. Another painting example, or another example here, or practice exercise here with more notes / my own exercises, working with, this was dealing with point light versus sunlight. So like think of a light bulb versus like the sun. This is dealing with like a light, like you had a light bulb or something. Dealing with like point light versus soft light and how that's gonna look on an object. So yeah, and then of course I haven't even gotten to the exercises yet. I think I stopped at page, where did I stop at? I can tell you right now actually. I stopped at ambient occlusion light, so pretty much page 15. So yeah. And honestly, if you are reading the How to Render book by Scott Robertson, I think the How to Render book, I think doing this book, the form lighting book, will help you better understand the How to Render by Scott Robertson. So getting back to this, of course, let's go ahead and get to it. All right, so working on this guy here. Sorry, I know we kind of ran off on a tangent there, but so remember when you're drawing the head from a 3/4 view, it is not completely circular. It's not like a perfect circle. It's more like an oval. The cranium is longer than it is wide. So longer in the back than it is wide to fit that brain in there. So what we're going to do is, I think this is the just roughing this in real quick. And this actually would expand out because the cheekbones, but I'll deal with that later. I just want to rough this in. And then I can, there we go. So I've mentioned this in other videos, or at least in a previous, I think in a study session, or maybe in another video, dealing with comics or whatever, I don't know, but especially when the head and the body is at a angle, especially when I'm drawing the neck, me drawing this circle, where's the dip of where the collarbones are, that dip in the neck of the collarbone, like right below the neck, and where your collarbone is. This is that dip here. This helps me determine the center of that chest. And then I can go from here, because I know that's the center. So even if the head is turned, as long as I know where that center is, I know I can have an idea of where that chest is going to be. I have an idea of where that chest is going to be. And I just want to rough this in real quick. So I'm going to do that for the chest. And same here on this side. We're just going to bubble it out. And then it's going to curve in here. And then I can just curve this like that. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just trying to rough this in here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the collarbone, or not the, yeah, the collarbones. Like that. Remember, we're looking at where I have that collarbone at, that's where we're going to be looking at the, what's that called? The traps, but because this is the deltoid area, so it kind of wraps around, so we're gonna have to draw that a little bit further out like that, just to kind of accommodate. But this part here, I can go ahead and stop this right here like that. If I need to adjust it, I will, but for right now, this is where we're at. And then what we'll do is we'll go here. So here. I want to make sure I've got this matched up here. So where this is pretty much where the hip is going to be. So yeah, I'm actually doing pretty good with the measurements here. Like I said, I can always adjust later, but this is what I'm looking at. See, so he's a lot wider, the body's a lot wider, thicker than originally when I drew this because the hips were thinner. Now if I was drawing like a smaller character, like a thinner character, then yeah, that would work. So we go in the center here. I know the belly button is here, and then the pelvic area is here. And then what we'll do is here, so what we'll do is probably need to drop down the hip area, probably, maybe not. Another thing I know I have to study is the length of that upper thigh area compared to the rest of the lower leg. What I'm gonna do is and then the hip, I might have to adjust the hips and make them a little bit wider later, but for right now, oh, I think it's about to rain. Let me see. Oh yeah, it's about to rain. I was like, is that thunder? Yes, it is. It really is. So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna finish up this guy. So once again, we've got here. I'm just gonna do like this to kind of just need the basic shape of the deltoid. And then like the arm here. I think another thing that throws me off when it comes to drawing characters is the fact that I have to the body is the whole upper arm compared to the lower arm, because normally you look at the deltoid separate from the tricep and bicep area. But technically, when you're trying to figure out that length of the upper arm compared to the lower arm, you have to incorporate, well, you don't have to, but I incorporate that deltoid in there because that deltoid has the bicep in the front and then the tricep in the back of it. So I need to make, for me anyway, I need to make sure that when I'm looking at the length of the forearm or the upper arm, I'm including that size of the deltoid in that calculation. I know everyone might not be like that, but that's because everyone has their own way of doing things, but that is how I look at it. And then this is so, because this is pretty much the bottom hand, the bottom of the arm, not including the hand, is pretty much the same length of the upper arm. So from the bend of the elbow to the top of the deltoid is pretty much the same from the bend of the elbow to the wrist. So, of course, if you're drawing like creatures and stuff, you can always play with proportions and stuff like that, right? So this is where I'm gonna roughly rough in where that hand is gonna be holding the blade, the knife. So this would be like that. And like I would have to go back in and correct this, but when I get this kind of roughed in here. So just kind of rough that in the perspective. I'll probably adjust it because I'll probably do like this, and then I'll probably have like this as an actual like blade. I'm not sure yet. Something like that, maybe. I don't know yet. Still a work in progress. So let's go ahead and work on this second arm here. Oh my gosh, my shoulder. Yeah, after this, I'm gonna get lunch. I'm gonna eat lunch. I'm not gonna go get lunch. But I'm gonna make lunch and then I'll start working on like an illustration or some lessons. So with this deltoid on this side, I'm gonna draw through as if it was a circle and then kind of work that way here. One of the books that I want to at some point kind of not run through, but work through is the, let me see if I can, I'm going to find it so that way you guys actually know what I'm talking about, because an actual friend of mine actually recommended this book to me, and I have worked through the beginning of it, and when I was consistent, I was seeing, like, practicing what it was teaching me, I was seeing improvement in my art. But where is it at? Here we go. I think it's Michael Ross, David Ross. The book is called Freehand Figure Drawing for Illustrators. I'm gonna back up real quick. This, of course, is freehand. It's working about freehand drawing and drawing stuff, drawing the figure from imagination, from different angles, but specifically dealing with the mannequin, really focusing on the mannequin. And I feel like once you get the mannequin down, things open up, because it's, when you're drawing the human figure, you're drawing these basic shapes. Like, an example would be like this right here is really broken down into, it doesn't have it, but here we go, like these here. Like, you're not drawing all of this, or you're not starting with this. You're starting with something like this, and then you're adding the details on top of it. And sometimes you might not even get to this point because you're probably going to put clothes and stuff on it. So you might not even draw all of this. You'll just probably draw this and then start adding clothes onto it. And I think that's very helpful. And even talking about, like, the more complicated poses that I think you don't really see other books explain, like the figure lunging forward and how the shoulders look and how they sit on the body, and like these weird poses that you normally don't really see in other like here's an example, like breaking it down, and then, you know, you're not going to start here, you're going to start with something like this, but how these all deal with breaking the form down into one, starting with like a rough sketch, something like this, and breaking it down into an actual mannequin form. Because that once you get that mannequin down, I feel like you're pretty much almost there. So, and then of course, you know, you take what you learn and you turn it into, you make it your own. So if you need to edit the mannequin in a way that you understand in certain for certain shapes or poses, then you can do that. You know, what's that saying? Learn the rules and then you can break them. And same thing goes for that. You know, once you learn something, you can change it to fit and accommodate what you need to use it for. Just gonna roughen the hand here. I'm gonna go back and edit that, but I just wanted to kind of rough it in there. Sorry guys, I just want to make sure you guys can actually see what's going on here. Already at 2 hours, god dog. I want to know if I'm trying to figure out if I should work on the face. I might as well go ahead and finish this character out. Go ahead and work on the face. So we got the eye line here, which means the brow line is like here. Now I need to move the brow line up, or the eye line up. because here, boom, the eye line is half. And then the brow line is above that. And then we've got here. Let me erase this here. So I gotta adjust that. So here, that's where the chin is. Not the chin, but come on, man. There we go. So boom, boom. So maybe what I'll do is that, like that. There we go. I feel like the top of the head is too, that's what it is. Top of the head is too round. It's just throwing me off here. Like that. Like it's not, I feel like it's, I don't know. I feel like the head is so, I don't know what's going on with the head, but I feel like the head is messed up. I'm not quite sure how to fix it. You know, this is when we're just gonna measure. How about that? This is when we're just gonna measure. I think that's what it is. The head, the brow line isn't up high enough. So the eye line is, I'm gonna draw here. Eye line is here. Yeah, the eye line isn't up high enough. That's what's messing this up. So we're gonna go like this. We're gonna go boom. And then we're gonna go there we go. And then we're gonna go here. This will be like the nose. And then the mouth. Because this is and then here, here, and then here, like boom, like that. There we go. That's a lot. There we go. See, look. Sometimes you gotta, if you know it's not right, figure out what's wrong with it. Don't just continue to go along with something even though you know it's not right. Figure out what's wrong, fix it. You'll thank yourself later. What I'll do, because I know this is the brow line, right? And this is the eye line. So where the horizon line is pretty much the eye line. So what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna do this here, like this. Because I'm not gonna be able to get too much detail in this drawing size. And then here, like that. This doesn't actually, I do want to fix this one. Just to kind of match up with this. Like that, there we go. Now what I'm gonna do is, because he's got, I'm about to still draw the eyebrows and stuff in here. So I'm just gonna draw the angry eyebrows in roughly, I need to make sure that I understand what I'm going to be drawing when I start doing the details and stuff. And then I need to move the lips up. Like that. There we go. Cool. So I need to fix the back of this head. And then we got the ears here. Boom. So I got the ears, and then the neck would be like here. So, okay, so cool. We've got this guy roughed in. We've got this guy roughed in. The neck muscles would be here. Something like that. So yeah, we've got this guy roughed in. The next thing we'll do is we'll do this guy. I guess in the next video, we'll do this guy. We'll work on the background, or we'll clothe these characters most likely, and then work on the background. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna make a note to myself, so that way you guys can see a note to myself here on what we're gonna do. So third guy, then clothes plus faces, and then background, because there's no point of doing the background if I'm gonna have to erase stuff because it's interfering with the clothes and it's overlapping with the clothes. So we'll do it that way, and then we'll work on the third. We'll work on the second panel with this guy here, and then that one, and then the last one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope this was beneficial. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Like I said, I like doing these things because it's pretty much like a way for me to log everything that I'm doing with this comic. But I'm hoping you guys are finding some type of information, some useful information and entertainment out of this as well. Especially if you're working on your own projects. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.